Welcome back to More Moths to the People. My name is Asa, and I am your host. I had already recorded an entire podcast episode. I did it yesterday, and it sucked. I had to delete it. I'm not using it. I'm not using it. So here we go again. Here we go again. Me by myself, me, myself, and Irene. And I was thinking I was going to have a guest this week, but it didn't pan out. It was my husband. Do you know how hard it is to try to get Thomas to do something that he does not want to do? That doesn't sound very nice, but it's true. My Thomas is one of those people that doesn't like to be in front of a camera. He has a pretty low view of himself and his value. However, he is one of the most incredible, gentle, soulful human beings you've ever met in your life. And I so want to share him with you on this podcast, showing him the beauty of himself to be able to show up in the world in a way that he never has before. But this is a journey. This is a journey for both of us. And I want him to start showing up with me by my side so that you can start understanding who he is, especially when we're going to be working together starting in June. So my episode yesterday that I recorded was on a completely different topic. And that topic was about decluttering friends and family that you don't want to have in your life anymore. Now, that was a really good topic. It was good. It was good. It was real good. But I don't want to talk about that. I've changed my mind because I don't batch my podcast episodes, meaning I do them in real time. I don't like have 15 different episodes waiting to be going out at any time so I can just do whatever I want. That's not how I do my podcast. And some people do, and that's terrific, but I don't. So I actually record these live every week for you so that it's meaningful for me and hopefully meaningful for you because it is pertinent and relevant for my life in the time that I am in today, right now. And perhaps there's something that you can relate to also in the conversation and you can identify with. And I I have this one of my best friends lives in America and she and I only meet on Voxer. And Voxer is a kind of like a way for you to leave a voice message back and forth to one another. I don't see her. It is not a dialogue. It is a monologue, meaning that I speak to her. She listens to my whole message. She calls me back and leaves a message for me. So we go back and forth, but we don't see each other and we are never interrupted. And I've realized how I love to not be interrupted. She has said that for years, and she says, I always lose my train of thought when I'm talking to somebody because people always interrupt me, and then I can't remember what I was talking about, and I always thought like, "Oh, that's so funny." I've never really thought about it because I thought like, conversation just comes and goes, and we talk, and, it's like it's an ebb and a flow, and never really thought much about it. And then I realized that, oh my God, I'm thinking I'm the same way. I think that I really just need to get my thoughts off of my heart. And that's why I do these podcast episodes. And I want to share, I have a need to share my heart. And you may not know me, you don't know anything about me, but you may know more about me than my own family. You might know more about me than my own loved ones because you listen to my podcast episodes. And here is where I share my heart and I share who I am without any kind of deflection, without any kind of reasoning, without justification, without defensiveness. I'm just being myself. And, this is a part of my legacy. I've talked to you about that before. This is a part of my legacy where if somebody ever wants to know who is Asa or what is Asa about, this is a repository, a library of who I am. Like it or not. So this is me. And I had a revelation today as I was sitting here on April, I think 24th. Today is April 23rd, 2024. And I had a revelation that I may want to get off social media. And the reason I may want to get off social media is because I fill my days being and creating content for social media. Now, I was talking to Thomas this morning. He was having his breakfast and I was drinking my cup of joe and he's getting ready for his day. And I said, I wanted you to be on the podcast with me because I want people to get to know you. I mean, you're fabulous. And he's like, you're the star, Asa. I don't need to be in front of the camera. I'm like, star? What are you talking about? Star. I'm like, I'm not doing this to be a star. I'm doing this so that I can communicate with human beings about something that I think is super duper important. And the work that you and I together are going to be doing in the world is super duper important. And people want to know who you are. They've seen me for 7 years. And then it hit me. Oh my God. I have been showing up on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. I mean, like every social media channel there freaking is, not Snapchat and TikTok and whatever else is available. I have no idea. I cannot. Um, but I've been showing up for 7 years because I have been a virtual business, meaning that I was a virtual life coach. So I can coach people all over the world. They don't have to live in my village or in my town, right? Because it's like, well, how else are people going to know that I exist and that I am available to work with if I do not talk about this on social media? That is how I come out to the world to explain who I am. So maybe before people would do like advertising in magazines or newspapers or commercials, whatever. But who in the world, who can afford that? Like what kind of a person, even if you could afford that, why would you pay for that? Why would you pay to be marketing or advertising, do spots in a 1 week ad that's going to cost $10,000 and people see it for maybe a second and then they'll never see it again because now you got to save up for another year to be able to do an advertisement again, right? Where social media, it's free. You can put your boodskap, your messaging out in the world in a matter of a second, and the world has the opportunity to identify with you, connect with you when you're being real, when you are being yourself, when you are energetically in alignment with what it is that you are talking about. And I realized that for the first 6 years of my business, where I was very um, in learning and putting information out and trying to help people, um, it went like it was just flat. It was flat because I wasn't speaking from my own voice. I wasn't communicating and creating from my own heart. I was doing kind of like a format. I was following a kind of like what is that called? Like a cookie dough pattern of what what I saw other people doing, and they're so successful because they say they're so successful. So of course I was like following down, I was going down the trail following them when maybe that messaging was good for them, but it wasn't good for me because it wasn't true to my heart. It wasn't true to who I am as a human being. And how then can I extend an offer into the world to work with me so that I can help you create what you want in your life when you don't actually know me because I'm not actually being me, I'm being somebody else who I thought, you know what I mean? Like it's like this circle of ugh, right? It's like a ugh circle. So now where I feel if I'm wondering because my discomfort is coming in, am I talking too much? Asa, shut your mouth. You're talking too much. Stop, stop. Just go be quiet. Just go in the corner. Shh, don't talk so much. Do I feel like I'm talking about myself? Is it bad for me to talk about what business that Thomas and I are creating for ourselves? Is it bad or embarrassing or shameful for me to say what it is that I feel so excited and passionate about in the world and asking for business, putting my hand out saying, would you like to work with us? Would you like our help to create this in your life for yourself right now? There's this thing in the back of my mind saying, "Asa, you're being too much. You're being too much." And then Thomas this morning, the trigger of, "You're the star." I'm like, "Ooh, I just got chills. I just got full body chills when I just said that." Because it's like, well, I'm not looking at being a star. I'm looking at communicating a heartfelt message in the world in front of a video or in a podcast or on a conversation with somebody else if I'm doing a live with them or just sharing. I mean, I'm sharing myself. And am I too much? Am I being too much? Should I stop being on social media because I'm talking too much? Do people not care about my message because it's too often that I'm talking or showing up on my social media platforms and talking about my upcoming episode for my podcast to let people know, okay, well, this is what you can expect. And if you have time, that'd be great if you could actually listen in. You know, I think I'm hitting another plateau. I'm up leveling, and that's what's happening is it's causing discomfort in my body. It's causing discomfort in like I feel like I'm like, "Ooh, I'm becoming unsettled. I'm becoming unsettled. What is this about?" And I don't by any means think that I I need to go into the observer mode. I need to look at myself and my world and my life and my business, what I'm creating here with Thomas, because Thomas has never had a business of his own. He's never worked for anybody else but himself. And by himself, excuse me, but for somebody else. He's always worked for another company. And I understand. I totally get that. I mean, that's how I was until I was in my 40s too. So now when I'm looking at when I am looking at this beautiful creation that I can see in my heart already that Thomas and I are doing this, is it too much? Is it too big? Is it too fantastic to imagine that we could create something so beautiful that now I'm starting to backtrack because now it's time to get embarrassed. I'm like, "Oh my God, am I thinking too much of myself? Am I thinking that Thomas and I can actually create a life that we love? Should I be embarrassed? Am I being too much? Is my family embarrassed of me again? Oh, so why are you always talking? Why are you always talking? What kind of message do you think that leaves in somebody's heart? Why, Asa, do you always have to communicate so much? Why do you say so much? Because I need to. I have a lot to say. Maybe because I haven't said a lot my whole life. I might have been talking, but I wasn't talking about something that mattered. Now I'm talking about things that matter to me. And I want to surround myself. I want to create a community with people. I don't care if one person, it could be one person that says to me, Asa, I appreciate you speaking your voice because it helps me to find my own, speak my own voice. It helps me to say, maybe I have more to offer in the world than what I have been told. Sit down and shut your mouth. Sit there and look pretty. Sit there, right? Remember the old messaging when people our age, I mean 50, 55, 60 years old, it's better to just sit in the corner. You're not here to be heard. You're here to be seen, right? So this is what's coming up. Ooh, somebody calls you a star. You're the star here, Asa. Ooh, okay. Discomfort. But what if I am? What if I am the star? What if I do need to get out what I want out, my message into the world so that other people, because it's not just about me. I'm not saying it's not about me because, honey, it is about me. It starts right here. It starts right here that I have to get this out because it is a part of my purpose, my life's purpose to share my heart, my feelings, what I see, what I know to be true, what I know to not be true, what I do not know. I share it all with you. And I am starting to get embarrassed. I'm starting to feel, am I too much? Is something wrong with me? See, this is when you know you're being tested. I'm being tested right now, and an up leveling is occurring. An up leveling is happening. And the episode that I had recorded yesterday that I said, no, I'm not. It was about decluttering friends and family from your life that do not lift you, that do not support you in your dreams, in your creativity, in your wishes and wants to create a better world. Who are those people? So I can maybe do a combination platter of 2 different episodes right now, but I am positive that something is happening inside of me, and there is more and more that I wanna share. So when I say to you, "Oh, I might have to get off social media because I'm getting embarrassed because maybe I'm too much." No, that means I need to double down and show up even more, because this discomfort of potentially being the star is a card in the tarot deck, and it's a beautiful card, and it's not just about being like, it's not, that's not it. um and the community that I want to create in this world are people that dare to show up in their own lives for themselves first, for their families, for one another, and to not hold on to the thought that I have to do everything, but I have to be really quiet about it. I can't tell anybody what I'm doing because it's a secret or nobody will care. There are people that care. There are people that care, and I am choosing a life where it may not be easy. I am choosing a life of integrity for myself first. Because if I do not say what is on my heart and what lifts me and what hurts me, then what is this for? This is my life. What does your life look like? Are you feeling any kind of like, ugh, I'm being strangled. I'm being like minimized. I have friends who make me feel terrible. Like, that they're not on your side. Like people who don't share in your joy, like people that you have to surround yourself with that, or not have to, or that you do surround yourself with, that when you are with them, you can't be yourself. You can't be the beautiful light that you are because they are darkness. They have darkness in here. And what happens is when people who have darkness in here are around people who have lightness, that are light, that feel light, that share light, there's a lot of discomfort and there's pushback. There's pushback. And maybe you feel it verbally, maybe you feel it spiritually or energetically, but you know it. You know when you are with those people, they don't want the best for you. They want you to be in misery. Misery loves company. There is a reason that that is a saying. And I'll tell you right freaking now, I am not choosing to surround myself with that anymore. I am discovering my boundaries more and more every day. I am discovering my voice, and my heart is actually really profound. And I have so many beautiful things to share, and hurtful things, harmful things, scared things, shameful things. I mean, I have beautiful, heartfelt, loving. It's a combination of everything, but they're about me. And so I'm not trying to make other people feel bad or make other people feel stupid or feel less or anything by talking about my life. What I want you to do is to reflect off of me, off of the people that you are surrounded by. Do you feel more powerful, more alive, more loved and seen and valued and heard than you ever have? And do you walk away with from somebody with a pep in your step? Or are you dragging yourself away like, "Oh my god, I was just kicked in the side by that person and they did it intentionally." This is it. This is a collective conversation that I want to have. And my top 3 values: freedom, peace, and community. And community does not mean that I'm looking for a vacuum or to only surround myself with like-minded people, but like-hearted people is important to me. People who want to follow on this journey of being, showing up as ourselves and not being ashamed, not feeling the memory of just sit down, shut up, don't stop talking, just stop talking. Why do you have to be so much? Why do you always have to talk? Because I got something to say. Maybe you've got something to say too. And maybe you need to say it. You do need to say it. You know why? Because I want to hear it. If you got something you want to get off your heart, say it and say it to the people that need to hear it. That's something I have learned. Not to everybody else, not to circumvent actually having the conversation with the person because you're too embarrassed or ashamed or scared. I get it. And all that does is it continues on the fear and it propagates, it just keeps growing. Yeah. And so when we face the things that we are most fearful of, like what's happening right now, maybe I should get off social media because I'm talking too much. Am I am I being too much? No, I'm only just beginning. Thomas and I are just beginning. So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what I'm talking about? Because Thomas and I, we are becoming something new. This ceiling of messaging that we have told ourselves our entire lives of, is it possible to actually create a life where you're working and creating and loving and sharing and earning money and feeling free and traveling the world and seeing people that you love, surrounding yourself with people, getting new family, creating new relationships, creating more closeness and community, and having the time of your life? Is that even possible? How is that even possible? That's only in movies. It is not. It is not only in movies. It is real, and we can create it in our own lives if that is what we want. And so these ceilings of this is all there is. I'm just going to work until I retire at 65. And then I'm going to have the time of my life. I'm going to travel. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to be with people that I love the most. What if you're dead? What if you're dead? Then you never get that. I have no intention. I'm speaking on my own behalf here. I don't know, Thomas has, he can speak for himself. If he ever wants to come on the podcast with me, then he has the right to speak for himself too. But I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I have seen too much death, too much sickness, too much. God, I really wish I would have lived my life when I was younger, when I had the energy, when I had the wherewithal, when I had the love in my heart still, and I wasn't so bitter and just sad because I didn't take the opportunity when it was presented to me. I waited. I waited. I waited. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. I'm living my life today. Will you live your life next to me, with me, share your life? Tell me what you're doing. I need to know. I want to know because I mean, I want to create products and programs and services and offerings for people that they want, not what I want. Yeah. I mean, it is important. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to create something that I don't want to do, but I need to know what people want. It's like, how do you need help? What do you need help with most in your life? Tell me. I want to know. I really do want to know. And I'm not going to quiet down. I'm not going to sit this one out. I'm not sitting this life out. I've been sitting out long enough. And my way of communicating may be different. It may only be via podcasting. It may be one social media channel. But I need to open up to taking more introspective time and connecting to my truth and my next stage of my life, working in unity and communion with my husband in a business that we have no idea how it's going to look. I have no idea. But you know what I do know? I'm gonna love every day of it. I'm gonna have a blast every day getting up, having a conversation with my husband, and going to meet clients, and traveling the world, and helping people in their homes, and sharing their stories, and helping them, helping you feel peaceful now, not one day. If you agree with this whole premise of living life today, not one day, taking over, taking commando of your life now. Let me know. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want you to share your thoughts. I need to have your thoughts given to me. So share them, please. You write them, you can email me at Åsa Nilsson Life Coach at gmail.com. You can send me to more moss. What is it? More moss to the people at gmail.com. You can message me on social media channels, whatever. You can find me, but I want to hear your thoughts. If you're feeling like you are being poo-pooed or being your light is being stamped out, take it as a call to growth right now. You are being called to grow. You are being called to action, and take the action for yourself. Stand up, stand proud, shoulders back, chin up. Say, I deserve to be here. I wouldn't be here if I did not deserve to be here. Let's help one another, huh? Let's help one another. I am so thankful and so grateful for you being here today with me and listening this far. Please share your heart with me. I need it. I need it. I want it. I'm asking you for it. So share it. Okay. Take good care of yourself. And let's see what next week will bring. Yeah. Thank you for being here.